Something smells like firecrackers. I don't know if it was that Honda shitbox that just drove past here. Sounded like a little crappy lawnmower. Really crappy sounding car. Or if it's something else. But something just smells like gunpowder or fireworks or something like that. I don't know what it's coming from. I think it's going away now. You know what? It might have been that crappy car that drove past here right before I started this video. Have you noticed that I'm using my other camera without the depth sensor? That's why this camera has the problem that cameras have had forever that I always bitch about. The focusing at night sucks. If I was using my new camera, it would be focusing instantly in the dark. Like, yeah, sure, now it focuses. When it notices the background is moving, but there's something in front of it that isn't, then it's focusing on the thing that's not moving. But still, the focusing on this camera is really good. It's just as fast as my main camera with the depth sensor on it. The LiDAR sensor that can detect depth, even in the dark, because it uses infrared light to measure depth, which helps all the other cameras be able to focus instantly, regardless of the amount of light. This doesn't have that. This just has your typical triple camera setup. It's got the primary camera, a wide angle camera, and a telephoto camera to give you that lovely bokeh shots when you take pictures. But when it comes to focusing video, well, it can't really do that very well at night. But during the day, this thing focuses instantly, just like my other camera does. And the thing that's kind of bummed me out is that apparently, if rumors aren't correct, they aren't planning on adding any sort of depth sensor to this camera on future models. It's kind of disappointing, but we'll have to see what happens. But so far, if the rumors are true, then no. They're not planning on putting a depth sensor on this camera in the future model. They didn't put, there's already the new model. They didn't put anything new on that one. Still the same triple camera setup, no depth sensor. And apparently for the model after that, they're still not planning on doing that either. And I'm just kind of wondering why. Like they're claiming that there's not really much of a reason to. They'd rather use other kind of gimmicky sensors like macro lenses and whatnot. But I'm just wondering why not? The LiDAR sensor is so damn small. It's like the size of the LED flash. It is so tiny. It takes up no space. There's no reason why you can't put it there. And it really does make a difference. It helps make focusing even quicker and more accurate, especially when recording video. And sure, it's also great for augmented reality to have more accurate augmented reality with games and applications that utilize it and all that, even though I don't really personally use augmented reality, like very, very rarely if I'm bored enough. But I would use the LiDAR sensor for better focusing on the camera. Because not only can you take bokeh pictures at night, but the focusing on video is instant. It's instant, even in pitch darkness. It can focus instantly because of that LiDAR scanner. So that's why I'm kind of puzzled to why they are saying that they don't plan on using that LiDAR scanner. Are they planning on using something even better? Are they planning on implementing an even better depth sensor technology that's even better than LiDAR? We'll have to wait and see, because I feel like that's the only logical explanation behind all this. Because LiDAR, from my experience, on my newest camera that has the LiDAR sensor, along with the triple camera setup like the one I'm using now. It has the LiDAR, and from my experience of using it over the past few months, it has been nothing short of amazing. That's why I'm wondering, there's got to be an explanation to this. I feel like the real explanation to this is that they may be planning some sort of technology, some new type of sensor, something like that, that's even better. Maybe something that really would help them stand out rather than just adding the same crap that other manufacturers are already adding. Maybe they're coming up with their own kind of technology that could surpass the capabilities of LiDAR and these other depth sensors. But it's all speculation right now, so that's why we'll have to wait and see. But nonetheless, I digress. This camera is still amazing. It just has that one simple little petty problem that it is horrible at focusing in the dark. That's really it. So really the only obvious solution to this is to make videos in proper lighting. Like this. And now it is focusing instantaneously. Watch. Instant focus. In 4K high frame rate. You know, a long time ago, back when these cameras were a lot more basic, the focusing sucked. And I remember back when autofocus didn't even exist. Like, I remember you had to keep tapping the screen to make it focus on its own. Like, it would not focus on its own. There was no autofocus. You had to keep tapping the screen to make it focus. But now, you can still do that, obviously, but there's not really much of a reason to, because the focusing is so good. It just isn't necessary to tap on the screen anymore. If you haven't noticed. We'll do it again. More light. Even in this decent, kind of crappy, there's still a decent amount of light here. So as you can see, it can still focus pretty quickly without even having to do anything. It just focuses on its own. So there's no need to tap. There's no need to make it focus because it does it on its own. But anyway, stay tuned for more videos. See you, folks.